My name is Tom McCoy. I'm the Executive Director of the Employee Engagement Institute. We're in the productivity business. We help companies create a culture of partnership that engages their employees and focuses them on customer satisfaction and company profitability.
What's the number one inhibitor to employee engagement within contact centers, and how can it be mitigated, in your opinion?
Call centers are a wide variety of animals with a wide variety of industries, and so I don't think there's any one inhibitor. In thinking about it, I would say there's probably three primary ones. One is a lack of a sense of partnership, sort of isolation. One is a lack of a sense of overarching purpose. In other words, what we mean by that is a contribution to the community. And one is a sense of inadequacy based on the type of work that they're doing.
How would you address those three issues?
Well, the way we would look at it from the Institute is that first and foremost, we would look at the culture and create a culture of partnership where people are engaged in the business. And we would use a model-based approach to that so that we didn't leave anything out. And our research shows that partners have core competencies of education, systems that enable them to participate, the authority and ability to be empowered to take action, and engaged in the business through both financial and social rewards, intrinsic and extrinsic reward systems. And so those are the components that we would bring into the organization to create that culture of partnership. Partnering on all levels, leadership with frontline, peer-to-peer, frontline to customer, organization to employees, a general sense of partnership. People come to work basically for three reasons. Two primary reasons. They're looking for rewards, both social and material. But they really come to work because they want to do something that they like to do. And that's not always the case in a call center. They're coming to work to be paid fairly for the work that they do. And the third one is that they ideally would like to have a sense of contribution to society, a higher purpose, the kind of statement that raises the hair on the back of your head when you say, this is who I work for and this is what we do.
I know I kind of jumped ahead, but let's talk a little bit about the unique challenges can you talk about executive coaching?
Oh, the challenges between executive coaching and coaching frontline employees?
Yes.
I would think they're almost two different animals.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the biggest challenge is that you're dealing with egos. You've got normal egos and then you've got oversized egos, and they have to be dealt with differently. When you're dealing with an oversized ego, it's helpful to be in a position where you can speak truth to power without worrying about the consequences. And sometimes that's not possible when you're using an internal resource. The other aspect is that big egos tend to like to be coached individually, whereas normal employees tend to prosper in a coaching environment that's group-based. So we like to help implement department action teams, is what we call them, where the individuals get together and coach each other with some leadership from the supervision about how to identify root cause and solve problems and take action.
So do you believe in a tiered structure, or how would you elevate entry or managerial level employees to higher up positions?
Yeah, that's the answer to that question varies by the type of call center in the industry that they're in. And we'll talk about two extremes. You can have a flat structure if you need a responsive and flexible workforce. And that depends on the industry that you're working in. But if you're working in an industry that requires more control, maybe the biomedical industry, pharmaceuticals or healthcare or something like that, you might need a higher organizational structure, more hierarchy. Some people come to work just for a paycheck. and a great place to work. And they'll be satisfied to stay there as long as you'll let them, doing a very good job. Those are the kind of employees that we need and want. How do you address their needs is really what the issue is. And so part of that is what we pull out when we do a survey based on the quality of the work experience. We ask questions about those 9 categories, and we find out where the organization's lacking in providing fulfillment to those, so that employees will feel completely satisfied with the cash money paid that they're getting, as well as the quality of the work experience.
So lastly, how would you suggest managers empower agents to take control, and then also their careers in general, of their work environment and their career?
Oh, yeah. That's all part of that partnership culture, where the supervisor is not a supervisor managing over people, but is more of a mentor and a guide to help the people under his responsibility be as successful and fulfilled as possible. And one way of doing that is providing them with the information that they need to be successful, and an understanding of what that information means, and then the tools to act on that information, and the opportunity, like we mentioned in the self-directed work groups or department action teams, the opportunities to act on the information, and then some kind of reward, whether it's financial reward in terms of incentive pay or social or intrinsic rewards. Part of what we use the quality of the work experience assessment for is to provide feedback to the individual. This 60-question survey helps them identify the source of negative feelings that they may have. I'm not sure why I feel this way, but I'm just not really enjoying myself here. And so let's take a look at what the data says and say, oh, you know what? You've got some conflict here between skills, real low score there, relative to complexity of the job, or relative to sense of fulfillment. Let's drill down into the 5 questions underneath each one of those categories and look at what the root cause is, and help you take ownership for improving the quality of your work life and for yourself in general. And we too, as an organization, will take a look at that and see maybe there's something that we can do to improve the outcomes there. So in terms of helping employees become engaged and empowered to take ownership for their own success, I think a very strong tool is this work experience assessment.